Moises Caicedo has been the best midfielder in the Premier League so far this season. That isn't controversial to say. Recent debates on Twitter have strongly tied his name in comparison to Arsenal and England midfielder Declan Rice. You can tell it's the international break when this debate is popping round. But today we'll be assigning our focus to arguably Chelsea's most important player, Chelsea's best player this season, Chelsea's shining light, the best ball winner in the sport at the moment. That'll be Moises Caicedo. Now, the narrative around Moises Caicedo for a while now has been pretty misleading. Some believe that his first season at Chelsea under Pochettino was average or poor, all because of a few blunders in his first 3 games. Something else that is pretty misleading is those believing and spreading the narrative that Caicedo is some shin-kicking, over-aggressive footballer that shits himself when the ball comes to his feet. That is simply not true whatsoever. He's definitely not a Pirlo defensive midfielder, the maestro type, but he certainly does have qualities in this area. Those qualities have led to some seriously impressive statistics this season. No player has more man of the match displays than the 23-year-old in the Premier League. The Ecuadorian has more tackles and more interceptions combined than anyone in Europe's top 5 league so far this season. And a surprise asset to his game has been his goal involvements. Caicedo, with 3 goals, has struck the net more times than the likes of Benjamin Sesko, Cody Gakpo, his teammate João Pedro, Bruno Fernandes, Mo Salah, Jean-Philippe Mateta, and plenty more. But let's dive into some specifics. Whilst this measures as a pretty small sample size, the ranks amongst the league and his Chelsea squad just show his monumental influence. For Chelsea, he's touched the ball the most, made the most passes in the squad, made the most passes into the final third, second most progressive passes, and then defensively, as you expect, as sterling as ever, with the most recoveries and the second most blocks. But compared to the rest, he's the league leader in tackles, league leader in interceptions, second in the league with dribblers tackled, without stacking up too many yellow cards either, with just the 1. All of these stats, including the ranks, showcase just how good he's been. He's a world-class ball winner and there isn't any better at the moment. Simple as that. We'll discuss just how ridiculously good and efficient he is as a ball winner later, but firstly let's tackle this narrative, this question towards his technical ability. Now, after watching endless pieces of footage of Moises Caicedo on the ball, I had come to the conclusion that Caicedo does have some weaknesses in this area. That's fair. That's highlighted, but it wouldn't be fair to ignore and dismiss the qualities that he does have that everybody does seem to ignore and push aside. Caicedo on the ball, funny enough, is absolutely fine. He's secure. People don't give him enough credit in this department. The 23-year-old proudly takes part in simple recycling of the ball, as Chelsea are a very possession dominant side, with an average of 60.2% being the second highest in the division. So funnily enough, their players are going to spend a lot of time passing the ball from side to side and asserting that control within a match. Caicedo is often positioned in a single pivot, sometimes double, but Caicedo excels in shifting the ball over to his right side, steering the ball inwards and combining fluidly with a player like Romeo Lavia next to him, playing intricately and taking care of the ball when opponents are near. The ball-winning expert does look to distribute the ball quick. Often that's because he's just won it and he'd like to move the ball faster forward. But what I find interesting with Caicedo is that, to me, with time, with space, without being aggressively pressed, Caicedo is a very tidy, capable forward passer that does spark some creativity. It's just when you limit the time of which he gets to compose himself, limit the opportunities for him to scan, to move, to think, is where inconsistency can creep into his game. And that doesn't mean every time he's pressed, he's super fragile. It just means that inconsistencies tend to appear here. It's natural. When granted that acre of room, Caicedo is more than capable of picking out some lovely, steered, composed forward passes into a winger to his feet or in behind that defence to run onto. He can clip them through with gentle weight onto the ball, in the air without massively over-hitting them. He's not a hard hitter of the ball. He's someone who clearly values and prioritises the tidiness of his game, and that doesn't want to be very wasteful. His tidiness here can be found from deep, as seen in that pass versus Liverpool, where he consumes 2 Liverpool players into him with a bravely played blind pass that kickstarts the move for Esteval's late winner. He could be braver from deep, of course, but sometimes his technique can appear on the eye as a little uncomfortable when a pass requires stronger weight. But overall, if a pass is struck along the turf to a wide player or in the air to someone in space, he still excels here and does not get the plaudits he deserves in this department. I think for a player that does share slight weaknesses with inconsistency within his passing on the ball and when he's pressed, I think you'd rather him be simple, recycle the ball, as opposed to trying to be something that he's not. When deep, he's a reliable outlet that you're safe to pass the ball towards. Another weakness, if I'm being picky, is when the ball is in the air, coming down to him. There's always an element of uncertainty when the ball's in the air. That's obvious. It's away from footballers and their feet. There's uncertainty. But Caicedo, I find, may look at the ball a bit too much, hindering his super awareness and then introducing some panic and miscontrol into his game. But this is me cherry picking. Funnily enough, not all defensive midfielders are maestros on the ball when they are that good at what they do off the ball. This is someone whose creativity sparks considerably in winning back the ball and using his sharpness and quick spring to energise a quick transition for Chelsea. His sharpness is just out of this world. He's a master of reading play. He's a master at smelling the danger before it comes. When a pass is even slightly suggested via the opponent's body language, even if it's distinct and not blatantly obvious, Caicedo is alert. He shifts his body to the sides, allowing for him to see everything, read the play, and force the play down the flank, should it come that way, as that's where more players have tipped over and the space behind him is likely more isolated. He starts the jump before the ball even leaves the opponent's foot here, like most elite ball winners do. That left leg stretches out comfortably before he then drives away from his man and clips the ball forwards. Simple, effective, bringing security to the back line and eliminating an attack before it even happens. That's just usual Moises Caicedo behaviour. The security he brings to the Chelsea centre-backs is absolutely brilliant. Badiashile, Chalobah, Achimbong, Tosin, they're all decent centre-backs in their own regard, but if they didn't have Caicedo in front of them, you'd probably be criticising them a lot more, because they'd be put to a lot more exposure a lot of the time. It would be a real test of their abilities and potentially showing their inconsistencies as footballers. But Caicedo, he protects that. By positioning him on the edge of the box, it's absolutely brilliant because he instinctively comes to life so quickly that when the ball bounces in that area, it eliminates a vulnerable transition and pins a defence back when Caicedo comes to life. It sustains momentum, almost like those around him can count on him if they lose the ball. Caicedo has their back, and that must be a very good feeling. He's instinctively so clutch. He springs off the mark and closes down the space so quickly, and if he's not winning the ball back and tussling his opponents, he's forcing them backwards, minimising the angle and suffocating them with the ball. This all makes him so effective in a high man-to-man press, where he can close down the space but also recover that space should he and the team be beaten. He's an all-action asset, someone who can win the ball back high but also make those clutch decisive defensive actions to defend his own goal. That is sometimes just as valuable as a goal itself. Without it, Chelsea don't win many games, and you see Maresca's side exposed on the break every match. The fact that Chelsea hold on to the ball as much as they do, more than any team in the league bar one, yet he still has the most tackles in Europe, just shows how ridiculously efficient he is as a ball winner, because that is just simply elite. Before we end the video, in regards to the Declan Rice and Moises Caicedo debate, both are absolutely excellent, amongst the finest in the league and deployed in different ways. One is a defensive midfielder and the other is more of an 8, somebody who has licensed to charge forwards with the ball within his ball carrying with Zubimendi behind him. And it's hard to choose which one within this debate, as I was really in a Declan Rice hive for quite a while, but Moises Caicedo's levels this season, levels for this year, the past few months, I think has really equalled it out for me. But if you want to vote and if you want to decide, head over to my community tab right away. There's a vote there. I'm pretty sure Caicedo's winning at this point, but have a check and let me know what you think. Thank you for watching today's video. If you did enjoy, feel free to smash a like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one.